Chapter 227, The Volley Manor. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. When Duan Mook Singling saw Jang Yuochen, she was exceptionally excited. She said with a beautiful smile on her face and a pair of round and bright glittering eyes, "Jang Yuochen, guess what good news I've brought to you. With the situation of the Yunwu city, is it possible to have any good news?" Jang Yuochen responded emotionlessly in the metal mask. Duan Mook Singling rolled her eyes, took out a wooden box from the space bracelet and handed it to Jang Yuochen. "What's that?" asked Jang Yuochen. Duan Mook Singling lifted her chin, exposed her long and slender neck and said with pride, "Open it and take a look." After hesitating for a second, Jang Yuochen opened the wooden box. Swish! A strong whiff of an icy smell was released. That smell contained a strong power of corrosion. It swallowed Jang Yuochen's fingers within a second. The skin on his right hand all turned black at once. Yet, Jang Yuochen wasn't scared. Instead, he looked joyful. He closed the wooden box, and at the same time, activated his spiritual fire genuine chi, refining the toxic in his body. "It's God Habitat grass." "Where did you find it, senior sister apprentice Duan Mu?" Jang Yuochen asked with little excitement. The toxicity of the God Habitat grass was absolutely strong. It only took a small amount of the toxin drilled into Jang Yuochen's body for him to be able to refine with the help of spiritual fire genuine chi. If he swallowed all the God Habitat grass into his stomach at once, not even the gods could save him. Duan Mook Singling responded casually and said, "I asked a friend to find them in the Cayenne's Yui commandery and send them back to the Yunwu city while traveling day and night." "Well, it's just a small gift, and you don't need to keep thinking about it." Of course, God Habitat grass is rare as well as carrying an absolute strong toxicity. "My friend could only find 3 of the grass, and I wonder if that's enough for you." "Sure, it's more than enough. Anyway, thank you so much, senior sister apprentice Duan Mu." Jang Yuochen lifted his arms slightly and thanked Duan Mook Singling wholeheartedly. In fact, the distance between Cayenne's Yui commandery and the Yunwu commandery was more than 100,000 kilometers. If she wanted to send the God Habitat grass within 3 days, she had to use a 4th-level savage bird and rush at the highest speed in order to make it on time. Now, Jang Yuochen owed her a favor. It seemed like teamwork since Jang Yuochen didn't ask Duan Mook Singling how she could send the God Habitat grass to the Yunwu city in 3 days, and she didn't ask him why he wanted the God Habitat grass. She narrowed her eyes, smiled and asked, "By the way, has something happened for you to come?" "I'm not going to hide it." "Yes, there's an issue." Jang Yuochen put the God Habitat grass into his storage ring and said, "I wanted to know the situation of some disciples of the school in the Yunwu city." "Is that it?" Duan Mook Singling put on a smile that didn't look like a smile. He laughed and replied, "I'm not someone who is complicated anyway." Then Duan Mook Singling responded, "The school of the Martial Market suffered a massive loss in the fight at the Coliseum of the Martial Market. 10 genius students were killed brutally. Some of them have been caught and locked up somewhere else. There are 3 strongholds of the school in the Yunwu city, and Ziqian is locked up in the dungeon of the Volley Manor. If Chen Xia found out that she is the assassin of the Hades department, she would definitely kill her right away." Jang Yuochen stared into Duan Mook Singling's eyes, coughed and said, "How did you know I came to find you because of Ziqian?" Duan Mook Singling covered her mouth and chuckled, "You're so close to her, and she exposed her identity because of you. It's not hard to discover the special relationship between you two. Knowing she's been locked up, you'll no doubt go and save her. Did I surprise you by getting the correct answer?" She continued, "Well, I'm curious. How far have you two gone?" "We are pure friends. Not like what you think." Jang Yuochen shut his mouth when he realized that he leaked some news out. He really wanted to slap himself in the face. "Ha ha, got you, Jang Yuochen. She is indeed an assassin of the Hades department. You got nerves to be friends with killers of the Hades department. Aren't you scared that if Sister Chen knew it, she would go crazy?" Duan Mook Singling laughed out loud. Jang Yuochen had to admit that he underestimated Duan Mook Singling's intelligence. He never believed the phrase "women with plump chests are stupid." He looked serious and said, "Senior sister apprentice Duan Mu, This is not as simple as you think. Please, please don't spread this news. Don't you worry. Do you really think I'll sell you out given our relationship? Juan Muxingling put away her smile. She touched her chin with 2 fingers and said, actually, I can even offer you some help if you're going to save her. Every large-scale family and suzerain in the Yunwu city owned their own individual manor. The Volley Manor covered an area of 120 acres which was neither too big nor too small. It was one of the secret strongholds of the school in the Yunwu city. Since it was a special period of time, the Volley Manor was highly secured and all array had been opened. It was even impossible for a Heaven Realm warrior to sneak in without a trace. When Zhang Yuochen and Duan Muxingling were approaching the Volley Manor, the royal guard who was stationed at the manor discovered them. This manor is private property. Who are you two? Before the royal guard even finished, both of them took out the token of the School of the Martial Market at the same time. Looking at the token they were holding, the royal guard instantly kneeled down on one leg and saluted. Then he invited them into the Volley Manor with courtesy. Many students looked surprised when Duan Muxingling and Zhang Yuochen walked into the Volley Manor, especially when they saw the mysterious Zhang Yuochen. A lot of students were curious about him, and they all rushed towards him and wanted to meet the genius youngster who saved the commandery Princess Yanjin in the Earthblaze City. He's Zhang Yuochen, the secret disciple of the silver-gowned Elder Hall Master. Why is he wearing a mask? One of the external students, who gazed at Zhang Yuochen walking shoulder to shoulder with Duan Muxingling, revealed a sense of envy as well as admiration. Since elder brother Zhang is the secret disciple, it's normal if he's kind of mysterious. Moreover, we are definitely incomparable to his superior identity. Another student cried and said, I can't believe senior sister apprentice Duanmu is elder brother Zhang's girlfriend. I'm hopeless now. Such a beautiful woman like senior sister apprentice Duanmu. Surely only the young genius like elder brother Zhang is worth being her boyfriend. You ain't got any chance to steal sister Duanwu from brother Zhang. After entering the Volley Manor, Zhang Yuochen and Duan Muxingling didn't take any action. Instead, they settled down under the arrangement of the housekeeper. In order to save Ziqian, every step had to be planned. They couldn't just fight. I'll go take a look at the security of the dungeon. If possible, we'd better get her out tomorrow night, said Zhang Yuochen. Duan Muxingling shook her head and said, it's easy to save her from the dungeon, but it's hard to get her out of the Volley Manor. We need a perfect plan instead of just rushing to save her. Zhang Yuochen replied, don't worry, I know how to get her out of the manor. When Zhang Yuochen finished speaking, he opened the window. After checking that no one was guarding his room, he jumped out of the window and transformed into an illusory image, dashing in the middle of the night. The entrance of the dungeon was located on the mountain in the center of the lake. If he wanted to reach the dungeon, he would need to fly over the lake without a trace and open the door of the dungeon. Yet, getting through the security of the Volley Manor wasn't as easy as it sounded. The surface of the lake probably had the inscription of a ray set up. Zhang Yuochen released the space domain and sensed that there were 3 powerful breaths hiding at the lakeside. Luckily, he possessed the space domain, otherwise, he wouldn't be able to discover the 3 martial arts masters hiding at the corner. At the same time, Zhang Yuochen heard a light step coming. He held his breath immediately and hid on the tree branch. The sound of footsteps got closer. With the faint light, Zhang Yuochen could see a pretty woman with a sexy figure come to the lake. It was Chen Xia. She stopped and flicked her finger slightly. An elderly walked out from the dark and saluted Chen Xia with his arms slightly lifted. Greetings, Miss Chen. Chen Xia nodded and asked, did anyone approach the fake mountain in the center of the lake? The elderly responded, don't you worry, with 3 of us stationed here, even a mosquito couldn't fly into the mountain, let alone a human being. Chen Xia nodded and continued, Presbyter Zhu has checked her blood and found that her blood meridian contains saint power, which is the posterity of the saint. If she really is the spy of the Hades department, she isn't just an ordinary assassin. I guess the news that she's being locked up has probably spread. The master of the Hades department would definitely come to save her, and you guys have to be cautious. Don't let anyone rescue her. The elderly sneered, since the school sustained a great loss, the black market and the evil warriors will also need to pay a price. Don't you worry, Miss Chen, no matter how many evil warriors the black market have sent to save her, Death would be their only way out. Chen Xie said, I need to go see her. Keep hiding, you guys, and don't expose yourself. She took out a palm-sized iron ship and put it in her palm. The tiny iron ship was a 7th level genuine martial arms. Under the surge of her genuine chi, the tiny iron ship turned into a 3-meter-long little boat. Riding on the little boat, Chen Xie sailed towards the fake mountain in the center of the lake. At the same time, the inscription of a ray set up in the lake had been fully opened. It's a good chance. Zhang Yuochen hid under the space domain and displayed the shadow of the royal wind dragon. He flew over the void space and reached the top of the fake mountain. Since Chen Xie was heading to the fake mountain, the 3 elderly guards who were hiding in the lake didn't recognize the weak current of genuine chi appearing over the lake. She reached the fake mountain and walked into a dark road. Greetings, Miss Chen. The 2 warriors who were guarding the dungeon kneeled down instantly and saluted Chen Xie. Open the stone gate. Chen Xie said coldly without looking at any of them. The 2 warriors both took out a key, put it into the keyhole which activated the inscription of Ray carved on the stone gate. Boom. The thick stone gate eventually opened and revealed a long ladder linking to the underground. A breeze of icing air blew out from the stone gate. The stone gate was so dark that he couldn't see the bottom of the ladder. Zhang Yuochen, who was following Chen Xie, glanced at the 2 warriors and recognized their cultivation levels. Both of them possessed the cultivation at the final state of the Earth realm. After the great loss of the school, the Martial Market Bank and the School of the Martial Market had indeed dispatched the martial arts masters to the Yunwu city. The 2 warriors who were stationed at the dungeon were over 50 years old. Obviously, they were not students of the school, but rather warriors of the Martial Market Bank. The School of the Martial Market was a base where the Martial Market Bank fostered geniuses. However, not all warriors of the Martial Market Bank came from the school. The bank would also spend a large sum of the money to attract warriors from other commanderies. Yet, their warriors who came from other places would only get a few chances to become the senior officials of the bank. Moreover, their status was not as high as students of the school, so they couldn't get access to all of the cultivation resources. They were seen only as the outsiders of the Martial Market Bank.